Live. Oh my god. I haven't done one of these in so long. Oh boy. I haven't done one of these in so long. I don't know what to do. Just gotta wait for everyone to comment. Are you watching? Hi guys, I'm with my mate Ronald, and that's a lot of people. Holy shit. Anyway, how is everyone doing? I know it's been a while. For some of you that don't know who I am, I'm Ian, and I am sane. No, it feels good to finally come on live and talk to everyone. It's been quite a emotional roller coaster. Yeah, how is everyone? How are you? Are you okay? Is everything fine? It's okay not to be okay, you know? Geez. I'm in Indonesia. We're having a wonderful show tomorrow. I'm super excited to see our Indonesian dreamers. And might I add, I think Indonesia is such a beautiful country. On the way here, and actually we went out, me and my mate Ronald, and we were just saying, man, this is like really my vibe. I really, really love it. Man, I wish we could stay here a little longer. Had some amazing food, and I think just the people here are so, I think, respectable and nice. Even if I think run into fans, they make sure to like respect my space and all that. And honestly, for me, I don't really care. I just kind of, if you want, you could just run in and hug me if you want. You know, I'm so down for that. I'll probably hug you back. And might I add, it's been crazy. My time zone has been, I've been flipping time zones, I think every other day. And oh yes, Peanut Butter and Tears. I hope you like that. It's just a beginning to an amazing EP, might I add. The EP is called Dear Insanity, and Peanut Butter and Tears was just the beginning of it. Might I add that the video 2 is just the beginning of what you're about to really see, and it's going to be about the other side. And some of the fans will know, but the other side is kind of where everything is from. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but I'll give you a lot of theories behind this. Should I tell him about it, Ronald? Yes? Okay, he said yes. So, just to give you a brief idea, this is not Mido 3. Let me just make that clear. Mido 3 is the main origin storyline, right? By the way, I love Indonesian food. Sorry, sidetracked it. So Mido is the original storyline. For those who don't know Mido is an alter ego that I play. But for me, it's a very real character because Mido is kind of like the person I am when I go into my huge manic dips. I become somebody else when I go into my manic episodes. I'm sure a lot of people that have severe bipolar will relate. But for me, I think I personify that. And what you see is pretty much real, you know. So anyway, Mido is this main character of this lore, which happens to be an archangel, surprisingly enough. But where did he come from? We don't know. And apparently he's in war with somebody called Mr. Insanity, which we only know from Mido movie Part 1. Part 2, who knows when it's going to come out. But Part 1, we know that Mido resents Mr. Insanity because he believes Mr. Insanity is the god of this universe. This universe, by the way, is called The Other Side. And so that's why this whole EP was very important. The one that's coming out, it's called Dear Insanity. It's a side story to where everything came from, the beginning of it all. It's kind of like, what's it like? It's kind of like Star Wars. You know how Star Wars starts like right in the middle of the whole plot, and then we get a lot of explanation or behind the scenes, or sorry, where everything came from like afterwards. Is that how it works? I think that's how it works. But it's kind of like that. So in this EP, visually too, and sonically, we get to see where everything really kind of took off. Who Mr. Insanity is. And very first, look into what the other side is. I know for some of you it's like, it sounds confusing. But when you see it, you'll know. Speaking of, I can't wait. This was one of the most exciting albums I've ever worked on. And some of you might say, how about Mida 2? I think Mida 2 was really fun too, but I think I was going through such a manic roller coaster when I was... Because, being that character and personifying it really takes a toll on you. It's kind of like method acting, I guess. If you concentrate too much on something, you really do become it. And I've seen what it could do to somebody. 주령이 들어왔구나. 안녕하세요, 주령씨. By the way, shout outs to Chun. If you have 홍미진진이 뭔말까? Then shout outs to him for making so many of these costumes, and you'll see what I mean in the future videos that are about to come out. Anyway, someone's asking me, am I okay? Of course I'm okay. If I'm not okay, I wouldn't be like this. 보면 얼굴만큼 흥미롭다. 저거 진짜. Anyway, what else was I to talk about? Yes, so make sure to pre-order, not because it helps me, but because it's such an exciting album. 멕시코는 언제 오나요? 멕시코는 곧 갈 것 같긴 한데, who knows? Maybe for a music video? I don't know. Am I spoiling too much? But anyway, I just wanted to check in on you, see how you are, because I've been, truthfully and honestly speaking, I've been was in a very rough patch. I think I was severely depressed at one point. I think I saw how low I could get. I really reached rock bottom at one point. I think it was during tour. And I really kind of saw myself wondering, man, how am I ever going to get out of this? I don't think I can. I was at that point where you start questioning if you could really even get out of it. But I remember telling myself, I don't think I could live to see another day. Literally. And I made that decision. If nothing really changed in my life tomorrow, it's going to be it. And surprisingly enough, I found a solution. The very next day. It was kind of godsend almost. But I kind of realized it wasn't always about me. I don't know how to make it sound. It wasn't always about me. Does that make sense? I really found power in finding something bigger than me. And it's I love giving. I'm a giver. I think I'm a huge giver. But sometimes you give too much and you obviously become a taker. And I think 지금 한국 사람들이 지금 여기 댓글에서 지금 한국 사람들 찾고 있는 것 같은데 제가 나중에 이거 한국말 해석하는 거 진짜 누가 옆에서 약간 해줬으면 좋겠다. But I realized even the biggest givers can become the biggest takers if there's no one to give to those givers. Does that make any sense? I'm sure it does. But anyway, I found peace. I found inner peace. But more than that, I found a will again. I found excitement. I found joy. Obviously, a lot of the reasons why I do what I do is because of you guys out there. But there are days where sometimes nothing can get through to my thick skull. 준영아 이거 좀 해석 좀 감사합니다. 준영이가 해석해준대요. Real time. So anyway, I went through my ups and downs, and I think I went through a rough patch this time. Came out completely distraught, scarred, and almost looked like I just didn't know how to get back to who I was. But I think coming out of something like that, you really do find, or you begin to find who you are again. Just know, even though you might think there's never a solution, there's never an answer, even though you might think you really can't come out of this part of the, I don't know, this part of your life, there's always a way. As long as you will it. But sometimes you might say, oh, but I even lost my will. And I think that's where a lot of the magic happens. So, like I said, I've been through that. I've been completely honest. And from that, I birthed Dear Insanity. Because it was the character that I knew I had to work on, but I am the equivalent of, I need to go through something in order for me to be that. Or reflect it. And if I'm not that at that present moment, I don't find a way to harness it. I don't find a way to really give that to the world, because it doesn't feel genuine. It doesn't really feel like it's me. So I have to really be in that position. So I think through all of that, I found sanity, which happens to be, to some people, insanity. And I think I was able to develop the character that I really wanted to, which was a very important piece, by the way, to this whole Mido franchise. But I just wanted to let you know where it all came from and how much it means to me. So seeing you guys enjoy Peanut Butter and Tears, it really does bring me a lot of joy. It is fascinating. Someone says, isn't it fascinating we find pain in beauty? I think the beauty is in knowing how valuable the pain is. I think that's where the beauty lies. I always say this, but when you're in the moment, you don't know, because you're hurting. How do you find beauty in hurting? You always find beauty in realizing why it hurt and why it had to hurt. I think that's where you really find the beauty, but you got to give yourself enough time to process that. If you don't give yourself enough time to process it, and then there's no real beauty in that. Trust me, there's no beauty in that. But yeah, so super excited about this EP. I might spoil a few songs. I wonder if people will knock me off for spoiling a few songs. All right, here we go. Actually, I'm working on a music video for... Okay, never mind. Wait, am I allowed to say that? Wait, I haven't announced it yet. Oh, fuck. Shit. Hey, who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck? Who gives a shit? I'm my biggest spoiler. Who cares? Who's gonna stop me now? Yeah, screw it. Yeah, I'm working on a new project. Not a new project. It's from the EP, but it's gonna come out pretty soon. And this is actually one of my most favorite videos ever, because I had so much fun making it, and I believe this video really captures who Insanity is. I had the hardest time trying to fixate who Insanity, or how to play him, because I was so used to playing Mido, right? Because Mido is more real for me than Insanity. Insanity is more a reflection of how I feel when I'm in my manic highs. Does that make sense? So it has to be more projected. Whereas Mido is, I black out when I become Mido. I literally black out, and I don't remember for a period of time. So it comes from a very negative but real space. So, Mito, yes, very real. So it doesn't feel like I'm acting. It feels like I'm processing how I feel. Insanity, I know how it feels, but I have to be completely insane to do this. It requires a little bit more method acting, but I feel like this music video, this song called which you guys are about to see, not now, but maybe I don't know, what you're about to see. I think it was my first time exploring the character, and I think I had a lot of fun doing it. And more than ever, I think it really depicts a good story for everyone. It's gonna really help you guys understand the lore, and it's going to really fuck it. Should I just tell them what the lore's about? Okay, I'll just tell them. Can I just tell you guys what the lore's about? Okay, so, but then if I explain it to, okay, screw it. Let me just say it. So whoever's listening and whoever's interested in this lore, let me tell you, this EP is such a vital piece because it shows you how everything starts. How Mito is Mito and how Ian is whatever, okay? So in the beginning, right? In the beginning, puff puff, there was one Ian. Surprise, surprise. In the beginning of everything, there was one Ian. And so he was, oh my god, I don't know where I should start. So let's just say there was one Ian in the beginning. Just one. So this Ian found out that his dreams weren't just dreams. Surprise, surprise. So his dreams weren't just dreams. He realized that by when he came out of these dreams, he would come back with souvenirs. Whether that be, I don't know, bruises or scratches or things that would kind of hurt him in that dream. He would come back realizing he has them as he is in the real world. And what he does is he realizes he could only tap into this universe. So let's just say there's an actual universe that exists in one's dreams. So it's not just a dream, you're actually going to somewhere that actually exists and it's not pre-made. So he realizes that there's a universe that actually exists and it's not pre-made up. So what does he do? He sets on an adventure. So he takes a lot of sleeping pills. Not the suicidal kind. He takes a lot of sleeping pills and finds a way to find a loophole to get into this universe. And this universe is happened to be called the other side. In the other side lies so many distinct, unnatural landscapes, environments, and creatures and things that exist there. So anything in your wildest dreams that you see exist all on the other side. Your nightmares are real, and so are your cute little dreams of butterflies and, I don't know, unicorns. So imagine if this universe actually existed and what we were doing by sleeping is we were just going back and forth. Now, what's the take? The take is every time you force yourself to go into that universe, and let's say what is that thing called? Lucid dream, by the way. Let's say you lucid dream, so you get to walk around and explore. It's like the butterfly effect. The longer you stay in that universe, the more you lose your sanity. The more you go a little crazy. So every time you come back, it's kind of like, what's that movie called? Inception, where you can't tell what's real and what's not. What's a dream and what's not. By the way, all personal experience, ladies and gentlemen. I wouldn't base it off of anything else. They don't call me crazy for nothing. So this one Ian, he sets off an adventure one day. He decides to write himself a letter to his future self. And in this letter he writes, "Dear Insanity." Almost like he's writing a letter to his future self. So he writes, "Dear Insanity, By the time you're reading this, we have ventured too far off into our minds. Meaning, by the time you're reading this, you're already clearly insane. Because it's kind of like setting off one long journey and you don't know when you're going to come back. So off he goes, writes a letter to his future self, not knowing when he's ever going to come back to the real world. And he gets sucked in to this other dimension, mentally, but also visually, sonically. And that's where we start, ladies and gentlemen. That is the beginning of the song. It's the adventure to the other side. And it starts like this. I'm just trying to look for it.